Watch out. As the truck headed toward them, Dahlia's immediate reaction was to push Dustin away, completely disregarding her safety. Realizing that she had nowhere else to escape she instinctively shut her eyes tightly. Right then, she came to a realization that it might not necessarily be a bad thing to die like this. At least he would remember for the rest of his life. As her eyes closed, a strong figure dashed forward and put itself in front of her. With an ear-splitting boom, a fist landed on the front of the truck, and metal bent under the force. The sudden opposing force upturned the entire truck, flipping it around, and the truck landed on the ground behind Dahlia with a crash, debris flying in all directions. "Are you okay, Dahlia?" Dustin drew his hand back and quickly surveyed the woman for any injuries before letting out a breath of relief. What in the world happened? Dahlia's eyes were opened wide as she gaped at the empty space in front of her before turning around to look at the overturned truck, shocked. She couldn't understand how the truck had made its way behind her, but she might faint if she found out it was thanks to Dustin's list. "Are you an idiot? Don't you know how to run away when there's danger? Why the hell would you think of me first?" Dustin snapped furiously. Fortunately, his reflexes were sharp, or she would have died on impact. At the spur of the moment, I couldn't think much. Dahlia was pale from fear. "You better remember that your safety comes first from now on," Dustin warned sternly. He would be plagued by guilt for the rest of his life if she died because of him. "Bro, can't you give me some attention as well?" Adam staggered to his feet grumpily. "What the hell? Even if you're saving someone, why would you throw the truck toward me? Is my life not important to you? What happened to brothers before hoes?" he thought. "You're alive anyway." Dustin responded nonchalantly before turning his attention back to Dahlia. "It's late. Let me send you home." He walked over to the road junction and flagged Ida Cap to send her home. It was obvious that he had been the truck's target, and he didn't want to drag her into this mess. At the entrance to the villa, Dahlia halted and spun around to ask, "Would you like to come in for a cup of tea?" "It's fine. You should get some rest." Dustin politely refused as if he hadn't understood what she was trying to say. "You idiot." Dahlia humped, glaring at him before spinning around and going into the house. Dustin waited until the doors closed to look away, his eyes now cold and ruthless. "Adam, help me look into the truck." "On it. Give me 3 minutes." Adam whipped out his phone and made a call. In less than 3 minutes, the results came in. "Done. It turns out the Hummers put a bounty of up to $10 billion on your head. Most of the bounty killers should have their eyes on you by now. That truck was one of their attempts." He summarized. "The Hummers." Dustin narrowed his eyes, the air around him turning murderous. He hasn't settled the score of being captured by the military. How dare they act up again? "What's the plan? Do you want me to bring my team to their house and destroy their whole family?" Adam asked nonchalantly. "It's fine. I'll take care of it." Dustin answered coolly. "If they're going out of their way to ensure my death, they better not be surprised when I do the same." He spun around and disappeared into the darkness. Back at the Hummer villa. "Josh, it's time for you to take your meds." Tina brought some medicine over to Joshua's bedside. "I can't be bothered to take them right now." Joshua frowned in displeasure. "Jade hasn't returned since morning, and I can't reach her phone. Do you think something happened to her?" "Stop overthinking. Josh. She's from the Grant family. What could happen?" Tina shook her head. "Then, do you think she's disgusted that I'm crippled and wants to end it with me?" Joshua asked again. Ever since his core was destroyed, he lost his pride, turning anxious and sensitive instead. "Of course not." Tina refuted him straight away. "I can tell that she really likes you. I bet she's running all over the place for you. Didn't she promise to avenge you before she left this morning? So, stop worrying. I must be thinking too much." Joshua sighed. As the fallen chosen one, something inside him had changed tremendously. "Josh, rest well, and don't overthink this. Dad went to Millsburg to ask for medicine from Dr. Watkins. I'm sure all your injuries will be gone in no time with the panacea." Tina reassured him. "You're right. After I recover, I'll rise to the top once more." Joshua swore through gritted teeth. "I'll make sure Rhys suffers like never before." Just then, the lights went out, plunging the room into darkness. What's happening? Joshua demanded anxiously. Calm down, Josh. The breaker must have tripped. Tina went over to the door and shouted, somebody go check the breaker. Silence was all she got in response, the entire villa terrifyingly silent. Hey, are you guys deal? Tina yelled again, but no one responded. Joshua had a bad feeling something was going to happen. Something's wrong, let's get out of here. He sprung up and prepared to run when a tall figure walked into his room without a sound. Who the hell are you? He shouted. The person who's going to kill you. The figure slowly lifted its head, and from the moonlight shining through the window, Joshua finally had a clear look at the other person's face. It's you. Weren't you arrested? When did you get out? Joshua began to back up in terror. Just this morning, he'd received Tina's message that the military had captured Kirrin. How did he get free in less than a day? Any last words? Dustin asked coldly. Tina threatened. You better not mess around, Rhys. We have Boulderthorn and the Grant's protection. If you touch Dash. Before she could finish her sentence, Dustin flicked his wrist, and a silver needle embedded itself into her forehead. Tina twitched before tilting her head back and falling to the ground, dead.